A couple of housekeeping items. We are live streaming the meeting, and it's also being recorded. We always begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Then we would ask you to remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Commissioner Kennedy, could you lead? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you please remain standing, we'll have a brief moment of silence. Thank you all. Vanessa, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sinata?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. We do have a quorum. As we do at every public meeting, we set aside time for public comment. We do this at the beginning of a meeting and then also before we adjourn. You're welcome to speak both times. If you want to just speak once, that's fine. Or if you're just here to listen, that's also fine. We do ask you, if you do have comments, that they be related to county government matters. And so, for example, if you have a state-related matter, we would refer you to your state legislators. And the same would be true if it's a local city, borough, or township matter. But if it's a county-related matter, we certainly welcome your comments. And then also, if you do choose to speak, we'd ask if you try to limit your time to about 5 minutes or so. We'd appreciate that courtesy. Hopefully everybody got a call. We'd appreciate that courtesy. Hopefully everybody got a copy of the agenda. And next on the agenda would be, we do set aside time for any of our row officers who wish to attend, but none are here today. So that takes us to public comment. If you do have a comment, we'll call on you. And you can state your name for the record, and then we'll hear what you have to say. Anybody wish to comment? Your name for the record, and then we'll hear what you have to say. Anybody wish to comment? Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. My name is Lisa Stern.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. My name is Lisa Stern, and I'm president of Lawrence County Action, which is a subgroup of the Lawrence County Democratic Party. This is my colleague Jane Cleary, and she is the executive board member, legal liaison, and historian for the Citizens Environmental Association of Slippery Rock area. And we are here to discuss with you a project that we are working on. And that project is to place warning signs at 3 boat launches in Lawrence County. We're interested in your comments, your advice, your feedback. And if you need any additional information, we would be happy to provide it for you via email. And you might ask why and what type of warning signs. The fact of the matter is that Lawrence County waterways have an unsafe amount of radium-226 as a result of fracking waste. Some of the background is the Marcellus Shale area has the highest level of naturally occurring radium in the U.S. Radium-226, like radon gas that people monitor in their homes and buildings, should not be inhaled or ingested. Radium-226 is classified as a carcinogen. Radium-226 emits alpha particles which can damage human tissue and cause cancer. The half-life of radium-226 is 1,600 years. Radium-226 is a byproduct of fracking, along with other toxic chemicals. It contains technically enhanced, naturally occurring radioactive materials, and this waste is transported to our landfills and processing plants and discharged into waterways. There are no federal or state laws limiting or accounting for radioactive waste transportation, no measuring or monitoring. It is currently categorized as non-hazardous waste. Nuclear Regulatory Commission has established safe upper limits of radiation 226, and that would be 60 picocurie.
Good, thank you, Gary. Good, thank you, Gary. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everybody, and welcome. Call to order this regular meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Bear with me while I put my cell phone on vibrate, and I would respectfully request everyone doing that, if you could, please, if you could put your cell phone on silent or vibrate, we appreciate that courtesy. A couple of housekeeping items. We are live streaming the meeting, and it's also being recorded. We always begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Then we would ask you to remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Commissioner Kennedy, could you lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you please remain standing, we'll have a brief moment of silence. Thank you all. Vanessa, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sinata?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. We do have a quorum. As we do at every public meeting, we set aside time for public comment. We do this
I can jump
beginning
in
of the
here.
meeting and then also.
Similar signs have been placed in Butler
You're
County.
welcome to
at
speak
other
both
libraries.
times. Want to just speak once, that's fine. Or
When we
if you're
first
here to
learned
listen, that's
of this,
that's also
was,
fine. We do
about
ask
5
you
years
if you
ago.
have comments
We
that
kind of shocked.
that be related to county government
I'm curious to know.
matters.
I'm curious to know. Did any of you know this is happening?
No.
Okay. So the way it's happened is that decades ago, the United States wanted to be more energy independent, and so we opened up the country to shale oil and gas drilling. And in terms of wanting to be very open and bring up as much as possible, the Halliburton Amendment was passed at a federal level. And so the EPA said, of course, radioactivity, that's illegal. You can't dump that into the creek if you're making bombs or something. But if it has to do with the fracking industry, we're going to just default to say it's non-hazardous. Now, if anybody wants to measure it at the well pad, and then, we have a number, then we'll acknowledge that it's radioactive. But nobody's doing that. Okay? They're not requiring the companies to do that. The average level of radium 226 at a well site is about 2,000 picocuries per liter. So they're not measuring it. They put it in the tankers. The workers are the most vulnerable. They don't necessarily know they're hauling this radioactive waste. Gets to the landfills. They dumped it into at least 50 landfills across the state. So this is not a unique problem to Lawrence County. I live in Mercer County, and we've been in litigation for 5 years because the plan was to reopen the Tri-County landfill and start bringing in radioactive waste. We appealed that decision, and fortunately we won last August after 4 years. In the Commonwealth Court, they overturned the permit, but the landfill operators there have appealed it up to the Supreme Court. So we're still in litigation over that. We didn't want to go over our time. Be sure to cut me off if I go too far. So we're coming to you today because there was a study done by the Department of Environmental Protection in 2016, and they looked at these 50 landfills across the state that have received the radioactive waste. The landfills have the rain that comes down and percolates through the landfill, creating leachate. And so the leachate is captured and sent to treatment plants. And you have 3 treatment plants in Lawrence County that have received this fracking waste. And they really can't treat it when they treated the example of Covanta, I don't know if you know that site, it's in the northernmost part of the county. It, I believe, is called B World right
It's
now.
on Sampson Street.
So they, when the leachate came in, the treatment plant, it came out hotter than when it came in. Okay. And that's because radium is persistent. It doesn't dissipate when it hits the creek. It stays there for, as Lisa said, 1,600 years. So the level established by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission is 60, and it's much hotter than that in all of these waterways. I spoke with the people, but the one furthest down is in Elwood City, and unfortunately, Mr. Price, who I believe is a township supervisor, wrote back to me yesterday, and he said it was very disturbing because the intake pipe for the American Water Company, I knew it was down there somewhere, it's right close to this boat dock in Elwood City. So we wanted to let you know about this. We wanted to seek your advice. We're still, I guess, in the process of finding out whose permission we need before we would mount such a sign. I don't know if you folks have any authority or if it's all within the local municipalities.
Well, I believe you said at the outset that you had identified 3 boat launch areas. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes.
Are you able to share with us which those 3 are?
Yes, they are the Human Services Center Administration.
And I'll stop you there.
Okay.
Forgive me.
Okay.
That is not a county-owned boat launch. You would need to talk to the Human Services Center.
Okay.
That's the one near the old train station, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken. Yes, ma'am. That is owned by the Human Services Center.
Okay. The second one is the Bevington Boat Launch on Wampum Road.
Yes, that is on River Road in
River Road, I'm sorry.
Wayne Township.
Yes.
That is owned and maintained by the County of Lawrence.
Okay.
And what would the third one be?
And the third one is Rock Point Boat Launch.
Yes, and that is
also
in, that's also in
Wayne.
Wayne Township. That is not county owned.
Oh.
That is owned by, I believe it's Western Pennsylvania Waterways. Brian, I'm looking at you, you might recall. It's not the Conservancy. Well, needless to say, of the 3, the second one that you mentioned is the only county-owned boat launch, the Bevington, which is in Wayne Township. What I would recommend, I'm going to give my colleagues an opportunity to speak as well. I would recommend, and I believe she's out of town until later in the week, I would recommend you're talking to our planning director, Amy McKinney, as it relates to the Bevington launch. And then she could tell you the exact owner of the Rock Point facility, which is also, again, mentioned in Wayne Township. That is located at the confluence of the Connoquenessing Creek and the Beaver River.
Yes.
And that is not county owned, so only one of the 3. But Amy McKinney's office is right, if you go out this door and make a left, the planning office is at that location. I think she's back Thursday or Friday.
I was thinking tomorrow, but it could be Thursday. She's back this week.
I would suggest that you talk to Amy and fill her in, as you've done with us, relative specifically to the Bevington launch. She may need to consult with our county solicitor. But as far as the other 2, those are privately owned, I would say, not owned or maintained by the county.
Okay. I did email, I think it was the Lawrence County Conservation.
Yeah, Conservation
Yeah.
District.
They forwarded the email, I think pretty sure it was Amy.
Yes.
And she said that she would need approval from the commissioners before she would be able to, she doesn't have that authority. That's the way she said it.
That's correct. And again, as it relates to the Bevington boat launch.
Right. Okay.
But do you have more to add, ladies?
I guess question I have, is this something that you could decide on today, or do you need more information?
We would need for you to talk with Amy first. I suspect, again, she and the three of us would need to have a conversation with our county solicitor as it relates to what we can and cannot post on property. Again, specifically the Bevington launch down in Wayne Township. But I'm going to defer for a moment or two here and see what my colleagues might have to say. I'll start with Mr. Kennedy.
I agree with you. We need to go to Amy first, and then Amy can come to us. They take care of them all, so they're better off. I'm gonna say more, but it could be one. One of the girls over there, if you want to check with them, should be able to tell you when she's coming back.
And they would know, again, the exact owner of the Rock Point launch in Wayne Township. Before I turn it to Mr. Sanada, I do recall that at one point in time, and I don't know if the signs are even still there at the county-owned boat launches, but the DEP had put out an advisory as it relates to fish that were being caught.
Yes.
And I do recall that we did put signs up at the request of DEP. This goes back, it may have been before you two gentlemen were here.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Mr. Sanada?
No, I'll concur with both of you. I think talk with Amy, get her input, and she'll come to us with her thoughts as well. And Jerry, like you said, especially like if you have to work with DEP or any of those agencies, what is the process? I think that's what we want to find out. Because this is the first, you're bringing something to our attention that's it's not brought to our attention. So we appreciate that. And, like I said, she should be back to it. We just go for give her a call and stop. I'm probably better just to stop with this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell her.
Rebecca Schaefer,
It's Rebecca Sheen.
Rebecca works
Yeah.
in that department.
Yeah.
If she's in there today, number one, she could tell you when Amy's coming back. Number two, she might know, or Alan Miller might know, the exact owner of the Rock Point boat launch in Wayne Township.
Helen Miller?
Alan Miller, he also works in the planning office.
Oh, okay.
I think we did, what we found out with the Rock Point was, when we contacted the Wayne Township supervisor or Elwood City supervisor.
No, it'd be the Wayne Township.
Okay.
Yeah.
They said that it is privately owned and they lease it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
The boat club.
it's owned by, and I'm almost certain it's called Wild Waters Conservancy. But don't hold me to that.
Yeah, he put in his email, WWC, and I didn't know what this
I believe that would be Wild Waters Conservancy is, I believe, the owner. Planning could confirm that. The Rock Point Boat Club leases from Wild Waters, to the best of my knowledge. But I think the folks in the planning office would be able to confirm that for you. Chris, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
Do you have anything else?
No. I think
Thanks, that's really helpful.
Alan Miller and or Rebecca Schaefer in the planning office, until Amy returns, they might be able to give you a little more information as well. Anything else, ladies?
I guess we're, well, if we would get permission, we would like to do some publicity so that we could inform other people in the county. And we'd certainly welcome if any of you would want to give your support to that. Some press coverage, photographs, just to let people know the seriousness of this. Recently, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette has put together two almost full-page articles regarding the issue, the concern across the state of this very, very issue. So we'd be glad to send you the links for that. Talking about how nobody knew when this got opened up how bad it was going to be. Nobody is aware, especially the DEP is not aware of the amount of fracking waste that has been dumped here, and that some has come from Ohio. So they're not aware of how much we have and how much much has been dumped in the waterways. And but we can be glad to send you further information in terms of this.
And it's going to be an ongoing, if not bigger problem in the future. Like, it's not like it happened and then, okay, there's lots of waste, in the present and in the future.
And I'm sure I'm stating the obvious, but I assume if you haven't done so already, that you will be reaching out to our state officials, our state house members, our state senators, since obviously they have direct tie-in with the state regulatory agencies. But again, I'm sure you're way ahead of me on that.
And that's a very good point. And the state representatives do have the power to make the regulations more strict. In fact, Senator Booth has written bills which would say fracking's fine, but just measure the wellhead and find out what the numbers are at the wellhead. To do that. Because if they found out it was hazardous, they would have to take it to out west, bury it, and it'd be very costly for the oil and gas industry. So I believe the hand is in that the legislators have the power to change this, to make it more strict than the EPA. But it would require passage of these bills, and the bills have been around now for about 2 years, and they can't even get out of committee. So there's a very strong political sense that doesn't want to regulate the oil and gas industry, but I don't know that they are aware, certainly our local people. We've been in touch with them.
Yeah, I did talk to Representative Marla Brown. That was probably last year about this time. And I gave her information and some of the legislation, and her comment was that she had no idea, and she said, I use the rivers, I kayak in them. So that's what she had to say.
Ladies, thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us. You're welcome to stay for the balance of the meeting, but if you have to move along, we understand.
Thank you.
Thank you both. We're still in the public comment period. Are there other, I know you folks have an agenda item, but are there any other public comments? Okay, thank you all. Hearing none. Moving along, in our packet, we have the warrant registers from the county controller's office, which are also referred to as check reconciliation registers. They are dated January 23 and January 28, and I'll give my colleagues time to look those over. Dan and Chris, whenever you're ready, you're welcome to make a motion for us to accept these documents.
I read it through and I will make a motion to accept the warrant documents.
I'll second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions on them? Okay, thank you. Hearing none, we'll ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have the minutes of the January 27 meeting in our packet. May I please, I'll give you gentlemen time to review them. Are you ready to?
You ready, Chris? I'll make that.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any corrections or questions about the minutes? If not, we'll ask Vanessa to call the roll.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have 3 written documents that have come into us over the last week that we will enter into the record. The first is from Gateway Engineers. It's hard to make out. It looks like they're in Butler, Pennsylvania. This copy didn't come out too well. It's signed by Ryan Bowser. It is sent on behalf of People's Natural Gas Company, indicating that the company intends to submit to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection's Northwest Regional Office an application for a General Permit 5 utility line crossing for a natural gas line replacement and removal project in the vicinity of both Mercer Street and Church Street in the borough of Bowland. The second document that we have received comes to us from the Pennsylvania American Water Company. The document is signed by Brian Hone, professional engineer, He's with Gateway Engineers on behalf of the PA American Water Company. And this involves the organization submitting approval from the DEP for a GP5 permit for a water line replacement along North Cochrane Drive in Shannon Township. And then finally, we've received correspondence from Mr. Timothy St. John indicating that he is applying to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection under Act 14 for a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit for sewage, as well as a Water Quality Management Part 2 permit for sewage at the Twilight Mobile Home Park in Mahoning Township. Gentlemen, these are the three letters. Any questions? Hearing none, would you wish to make a motion for us to accept and file these documents?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We'll ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. That takes us to Commissioner reports and comments. And Mr. Kennedy, you're listed first today.
First and foremost, Chip, welcome aboard. We're
Thank you, sir.
glad you're here, and I'm sure Diane is. Takes a little relief off her. She's worked, as I said the other day, Diane, thank you. We never missed a beat with you being down there. We appreciate it from up here, all the hard work you did. But Chip, welcome aboard. The only other thing I got is, after all the snow, Chris and I got out with Chip on Saturday to go down to Elwood, the little beer and wine fest they had down there for a benefit for their beautification award. But we were down there for a little bit, had a little bit of fun, and got to see some people in Elwood. That's about it. That's all I got.
All righty. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Sonata.
I'll just echo Commissioner Kennedy's thoughts. Welcome aboard, Chip. I've known Chip 2 years now, working with the County Commissioners Association and part of the Northwest Caucus region, which I'll be at on Friday. And wish you the best down here, Diane. I echo Commissioner Kennedy's comments. This will be there. Very diligent. I've dealt with you for many years. You're a true professional, and we appreciate you always stepping up when things get tough. And, things are going the right direction. And I'm quite confident Chip, you're going to just keep it going the right way. A lot of positive things will be happening in Lawrence County over the next year or two. Welcome aboard. And I'll just echo Commissioner Kennedy. It was tough to get out this past weekend with all the snow and everything. We did make it down to Elwood City. Very nice event. I think it's my fourth year going down for it. And it's one of those type of events. It raised a lot of money. You had all the locals who were there for different vendors. And a nice event. Look forward to more events down here. That Elwood City does a very nice job with their community-oriented events down there. There's Wonder Wednesdays and the Chamber, and you have the Veterans Organization. So always nice to visit down there. So that's pretty much all I have today.
Thank you both, gentlemen. And the last to speak, for those who might be watching and saying, well, who's Chip? Chip Abramovic is, as has been noted, is the new director of Forward Lawrence. And this is your second official day on the job, but unofficially, I'm being told you've been doing a lot of work prior to this. Mr. Abramovic served, was it for 10 years, Chip, as a Venango County Commissioner. So that's how long you and I have been friends. I'll admit to it. I'm not sure if you will, but I'll admit to it. And we've enjoyed a wonderful working relationship all these years. And it's great that you're going to be part of this community. And we wish you all the best. My colleagues are absolutely right. Diane Richardson has held the fort down along with your other staff members. You've got a great staff, wonderful staff. But we thank you for that. And that one thing that the two of you do have in common is public service from the standpoint of Mr. Abramovic having been a county commissioner. Diane, just a month ago, was sworn in as a borough council member in the borough of New Wilmington. So we appreciate your community service there as well. So thank you both. I also want to note that later this week, and Mr. Sonata referenced it, on Friday is the meeting of the Northwest Regional Planning Commission. Mr. Sonata is the county's representative to that board, but my understanding is that Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Abramovic are going to attend that meeting. At least that's what I was told.
Yes.
And I served on that board for a number of years. We served together. It's a great board. I'll be home here because at 9 o'clock on Friday in courtroom number 2 in President Judge Cox's courtroom, he will be holding a hearing on the election board's petition for the consolidation of the former South Newcastle Borough voting precinct with the Shenango Township 3rd District. So Mr. Germani, our elections director, will be attending, our county solicitor will be attending, and I'll be representing the Board of Elections because, again, my 2 colleagues will be on county business up in Oil City that day. It's interesting, Chip, up until the 31st of December, this county had 10 boroughs, and you may have heard that one of the boroughs, South Newcastle Borough, the voters a few years ago, along with the voters in Shenango Township, voted to merge the 2. So we now have 9 boroughs instead of 10, and as I'm sure you know, we have 16 townships and 1 third-class city. So again, I'm sure you knew all that already.
Not at all, man. Not at all.
So, I'm not surprised. So those are my comments today. That takes us to new business, our first resolution. Vanessa, what number did we give it?
10.
This is proposed resolution 10. The county has been approached by Forward Lawrence to give consideration to a LERTA agreement. LERTA stands for Local Economic Revitalization Tax Assistance Law, which allows taxing bodies to provide for tax exemption for certain deteriorated industrial and or commercial property. And what's before us today is a request that we give consideration for the county granting the LERTA for the zoned area in Hickory Township that is defined as light industrial and mixed use highway zones. My understanding is that the Laurel Area School District has already voted to implement the LERTA from the standpoint of the school district taxes. What we would be doing would be giving consideration for the county property tax. With that all being said, Chip and or Diane, if both of you want to come up, if one of you want to come up and make the presentation, however you want to do it.
I'll be quick.
That's fine.
We also have John Richardson here with Richardson Woodworking. This is the project that spurred this conversation. So it'd be nice if John had a chance to speak as well.
Absolutely. Yes, please pull up a chair, and we look forward to hearing. Am I correct? I just want to be real clear about one thing, though. Please, gentlemen, have a seat. We are granting this LERTA for a zoned area within the township, not specifically for one company. It's for the zoned area, and it may be the fact that we have a situation where a company either is located or will be locating in that zone. But
That's
this
correct.
is for a zoned area in the township.
In fact, LERTA requires, they require that the township or the municipality be zoned. So as you know, in Laurel District, there's other townships there, but they don't have zoning. So Hickory was really the only one that's eligible for a LERTA.
Understood. Thank you for clarifying that. So gentlemen, I'll turn it over. We welcome you both, and please proceed.
I'll start real quick. Thank you guys for the kind words. I hope they continue because there's been so many nice things said about me over the past month, more than the past 10 years. It's been an honor to serve with all 3 of you, especially you, Dan, over the past 10 years. But I didn't expect on my second day as a recovering commissioner to be on the other side of the table in a commissioner's meeting. So it's a pleasure to be here.
You can give me some pointers. You haven't been a committee. You've sat in this chair, so I'll take all the pointers I can get.
If you give me one of those badges so I can get through through security. We're good on that. But we're here to formally request Mr. Richardson and his expansion of his company for a 5-year LRTA. It's a routine in nature request for the zoning ordinance. The school district approved it, and just the formality of approval. And Mr. Richardson, do you want to tell them a little bit what your plans are?
Yes, so it was mentioned that this is for the area that's light industrial. So we own that entire piece of that parcel of property. And our plans, this is a partnership between myself and a member of the Amish community. So it's kind of a unique economic situation where it's going to benefit both communities. We have an existing business in Wilmington Township that is outgrown the area that we're located in. And we don't own that piece of property. So we bought this particular piece of property from Lindy Paving. It was essentially a shuttered facility. It was just sitting there not being utilized. And we purchased it, and we're going to move our sawmill and industrial wood manufacturing business into this area. We're planning on building 10,000 square feet of new structures on the property. That's going to begin any time here now. And we're going to move the entire operation down. We have room to expand. Currently, we have 10 to 12 full-time employees. We intend to see that expand. We should, over the next year or so, add another 6 to 8 employees to that company, plus all of the support that goes along with this type of business. So, and we have a lot of trucking, and we buy materials and supplies from other local businesses, and of course we're manufacturing pallet and industrial wood products for a lot of regional companies in the area. So that's essentially our model, what we're doing in a nutshell.
Well, thank you, sir, and first and foremost, thank you for your commitment to staying in Lawrence County, because I'm sure you had many options. You could have gone north to Mercer or east to Butler or even Ohio, but you stayed here, and we're grateful for you. We're very, very grateful for that.
Commissioner Roker, this is one I didn't steal from you before I got
Just to enter into the record, so that we are clear about this, that this LRTA proposal would again involve the zoned areas in Hickory Township that are light industrial as well as mixed use highway zones. And if I'm reading this map correctly, and Debbie, we'll have a copy for you if you don't have one already. Well, I'll give you mine. There are the light industrial zones. There are 3 of them in Hickory Township. One is along State Route 168 north of the village of Eastbrook. One is right in the village of Eastbrook. It borders Briar Hill Road and Eastbrook Mechanic Falls Road, as well as State Route 168. And then there's a third in the southwest corner of the township. It would be north of County Line Road. And then this, if I'm reading this correctly, it also covers the mixed use highway zones. And they are identified on this map as State Route 108, all of Route 108 Hickory Township, which would also be known as Harlansburg Road, and a portion of State Route 168 in the vicinity of the village of Eastbrook. And again, Debbie, it's very understandable when you look at the map, which I'll give you shortly. The way in which this is structured is, it states here, the following real estate tax exemption schedule shall become effective when the owner or lessee shall occupy and commence use of said property. for 5 years immediately following completion of new construction or completion of an improvement to an existing structure, the following real estate tax exemption schedule shall be in effect. During the first year, the exemption, in this case for county property tax, would be 100% exempt. In the second year, it drops to 80%, the third, 60%, the fourth year, 40%, the fifth year, 20%. After the fifth year, the exemption shall terminate. I have a question, and I do not mean to embarrass either of the two people in the room named Richardson, but I want to get it on the record to avoid any embarrassment. Are you two related at all?
Not at all.
Okay, I just wanted to make that clear, because sometimes people see the same last names and you are not related. So, and I don't want to offend you by asking that question either, but I think it needed to be pointed out.
It's a justifiable question.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to see if Mr. Kennedy would wish to ask questions.
I remember when John came and started talking to me about this. Was I still township supervisor?
I believe you were.
Yeah, and you were going to move out of Wilmington then, but we appreciate it. As I told you then, Stanley, one question you could say no, or it's none of your business, but you still gonna, is this where you're gonna make the soft?
Correct.
Okay. So that's something that no one knows what a soft is. When you're doing construction, it's that black snake thing that sits here and you gotta stake it in the ground. And we're actually gonna make that in Orange County now. And that's pretty, to me, that's pretty neat. Because when I had to go clear over to Ohio somewhere, when I was doing a playground at Morty Park and pick it up. But now you'll be able to get it right here in Orange County. And that's pretty neat to me.
Yes, that's actually, that's something that we don't currently produce, and that's something we're going to be able to do with the new facility. And I'm glad you brought that up, because currently the majority of that compost filter salt that's used as erosion controls on virtually every construction project in the state of Pennsylvania is either coming from Ohio or it's coming from the eastern side of the state. And our facility will be able to manufacture and supply that, particularly in northwestern Pennsylvania, in a much more economic fashion than what is currently being supplied to construction. And that's anything from heavy highway to private and industrial construction that's using this product.
Realistically, it's a waste product of what you're going to be doing that you're actually using. So
Correct.
that's big. And plus, I remember as a kid, that was the old B&L asphalt plant. Years ago, they tore it down, but it's nice that somebody's going to use that area again for especially this. I think it's perfect for what you're doing. We thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Commissioner Sanada?
I'll just echo my two colleagues' comments, Mr. Richardson. Thank you for your commitment to Lawrence County.
Absolutely.
I think this road is a very reasonable road up. You're going to create jobs, generate tax revenue in a year, and I have no problem supporting this. I mean, we haven't done a whole lot to learn this the past 2 years since I've been here, and sometimes they can become controversial, especially 10-year limits. I think a 5-year, what you're asking is very reasonable, and I think it's a good idea, and hopefully will encourage other businesses along that corridor. And I think this is the type of model we look forward to. Look in the future, if the little assistance coming from the government, I think is a good thing. Asking for 10 years of no taxes is not a good thing in my opinion. I think that you're very reasonable. Thank you once again for your commitment, and look forward to cutting that ribbon. Joining the many others that we've had for the past 2 years as it moves forward. So look forward to seeing your facility out there once you get it going. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Chip, before you step aside, do you remember Brian Burek? Brian was a commissioner. You may recall when former Commissioner Boyd resigned, our courts appointed Mr. Burek to fill his unexpired term. But prior to that, Brian served 3 terms?
Two.
2 terms as county commissioner back in the 1990s. He's now our tax claim director, but you may have met at a CCAP.
At the CCAP conference in '23.
We have, is this the place for, recovering commissioners?
You're not coming here to get a job.
No, I know I'm not, but I'm just saying, who else can pull in?
There you go. Well, we're fortunate that Mr. Burek.
Can I add one thing too?
Certainly.
Is LERTA, we've dealt with LERTAs my whole career, not a lot compared to what you guys have for growth, but one thing I always believe in is there's a tough conversation here, 20 about 10 years, but the thought is they're gonna leave after 10 years of your tax payment stuff. But when you have a homegrown business that's invested in the community and bringing in the whole community, there's no risk of him leaving after 5 years or after 10 years. I know it's a 5-year alert, not 10, but the LERTAs, I truly believe a lot of them are designed to grow our local town. And this is one of those perfect examples of an opportunity to give him an incentive to stay and not go to a neighboring county or even Ohio to help himself grow and stay planted right here in Lawrence.
You also met Debbie Walker from the Newcastle.
I have.
Okay, good. Well, Mr. Richardson, again, thank you for taking the time to be with us today, and we hope this helps you, but we wish you all the success in the world. Thank you. Yes, sir. But before we do anything else, we better vote on this. This is proposed resolution 10. Assuming you gentlemen and Diane, you're through with your presentation. May I have a motion then for resolution 10?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
There are no other concerns. I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you. Debbie, when I give you the entire packet, this document will be with it.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right back.
As we say to all the other folks, you're welcome to stay. We know you're busy people. If you have to leave, we understand.
My second day, I'm not that busy.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Resolution 11, Donald Andrews is with us from our Children and Youth Services Office. Donald, hope you're doing well.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us again. And this resolution involves the Children's Advocacy Center out in Union Township. It looks like we're making an amendment to it, but I'll let you give us all the specifics.
Yes, this is just we are coming before you for a request for amendment to our existing contract, just to update the rates, similar to what we have been doing as an ongoing process. Since we've transferred to fee for service, we are monitoring rates, just trying to get everyone where they need to be. So our rate sheets are updated for their 3 different programs, and that is simply all it is.
And you were kind enough to attach the document for those rates. Family reunification, parents as teachers, and forensic interviewer, multidisciplinary team. Did I get that right?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you, Donald. Mr. Sonata, do you have questions for Mr. Andrews?
No, I think this is 3 weeks in a row.
Yes,
So you're on a roll.
We'll be back next week.
There you go. That's all right. You keep doing what you're doing, Don. We appreciate you really. I think you really are fitting well in that position. We used to have our good friends.
Mike Grippo.
Oh, yes. Mike, he would be here every week. But now you're doing fine. I think that you've fallen in good steps.
Thank you, Chris, and I'll see if Commissioner Kennedy has any questions. Gentlemen, you've heard the request made by Mr. Andrews. This is proposed resolution 11. May I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Vanessa, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Donald, good to see you.
Thank you.
Guess we'll see you next week, as I heard you say.
Yes, I will be back next week.
Thank you again. Take care. Proposed resolution 12 comes to us from Mr. Burek, Brian Burek, who is the director of our tax claim office. And he has, I think, a very interesting proposal that he'd like for us to consider. And I think you have some supporting documents to go along with the resolution. Thank you very much. And, Brian, I'll turn it over to you so you can fill us in once you get settled in.
Thank you, Commissioners. At your advice and recommendation, last year I attended 2 of the Pennsylvania Tax Claim Bureau Association conferences. And as you guys do at CCAP, you learn from other counties what works well. And something that caught my attention, I heard a few presentations and then I talked to multiple tax claim directors. There's a trend to move Tax Claim Bureau tax sales to online sales. And there's 2 main companies that do this. I've met with representatives of both companies, and I think I've provided all of you with background information on one company. Our neighbors to the south, Beaver County, just a few weeks ago hired this company that I'm recommending today. This company is called GovEase Auction, LLC. They're a company, they operate in 13 states. They've been doing online auctions for the past 3 years in Pennsylvania. The first county was York County. I spoke to the director of tax claim in York County, and she raved about that's the best move they ever made. As you know, there's many steps to a tax claim sale. There's 3 steps that are particularly time consuming to the tax claim staff and burdensome to the bidders. And those are the 3 functions that this online company would basically take over on our behalf, working with us. One is registering bidders. By law, at least 2 weeks before the sale, someone who wants to bid at a public tax sale must register as a bidder. They used to have to travel to the courthouse and register in person. They have to fill out all this paperwork, provide copies of their ID, and a whole week, my staff would have a line of people at the counter. As you recall, last spring, we had over 150 people registered our free and clear sale. Commissioner Kennedy was up there. The courtroom was overwhelmed with people, and it was a very challenging process. The second aspect they take over is the day of the sale. Instead of conducting the sale in person and tying up one of our courtrooms, this company has a website where anybody who's a registered bidder can go online, sitting at their computer, on their tablet, or on their phone from home or their office, wherever they want to be, but they don't have to make a physical trip into the courthouse. And they can bid on properties that we bid off one at a time, just like we did in person. And then at the end of the sale, last year, me and my staff had to stay and count $565,000, and then the next day deposit that at our local West Banco. And that was a 12-hour day for me and my staff. We don't mind working hard, but the way this company works, the winning bidders submit their payments electronically, and within 3 to 5 days, that money is transferred with a full report into the county's bank account. And then the final step that this company can handle for us, out of those 150 bidders, the majority of them did not end up either bidding on a property or were not a winning bidder, and they were entitled to a refund. They had to put a $500 deposit down. Last year, I had to write out 80 checks and mail them back to the bidders because many of the bidders are from out of the county or out of the state, and mail those checks out. And that took time and effort and postage, and et cetera. This company would refund the bidder's registration electronically. So the bottom line is, I'm proposing, and the contract is right here. I've given a copy to our solicitor, Jason Medor. He and I have reviewed it. I've talked to other counties. In fact, I just talked to Beaver County this morning. They signed the same contract 2 weeks ago. And here's the bottom line. There's no cost at all to the county for this service. So how does this county make their money? 2 ways. One, the bidders who want to register to bid at our tax sales would have to pay a $35 registration fee. But again, that saves them at least 2 trips to the courthouse, time, money, gas, et cetera. So there's not been a problem in the other counties where they've had to pay this fee. And then the second way is, if someone is a successful bidder, they do have to pay a 3% buyer's premium. All of you eating at a restaurant now, what do many of them do? They charge you an extra 3% for the convenience of putting on a credit card. So for people in the future, if we go ahead with this proposal to buy properties online, they will pay a 3% premium. As for example, if they pay a $1,000 property, they'll pay an extra, $30. If they buy a $10,000, they'll pay an extra. They'll pay a 3% premium for the convenience of bidding on properties online versus traveling into Lawrence County into the courthouse. So again, I'll answer any questions you have. I did give each of you a handout. There's benefits to both the county. Actually, could potentially lower some of our costs. There's a potential benefit to the bidders. They don't have to travel here at least twice. Many of them come in more for the updated list of the sale that'll be available to them online. And then the bottom line is at least 12 other counties in Pennsylvania have done this. And there's several more that are currently under contract and started this year. And where it's been done in every county, the number of bidders who participate goes up, increases the numbers of properties that get sold, and the average price paid per parcel goes up. And how does that benefit the county? As you know, when we sell a property at a tax sale, the first thing we do, the Bureau collects our costs. Then the second thing we do is we pay the back taxes and the current taxes. And if there's money left after that, we pay Commonwealth liens, we pay mortgages. And if there's any money left over after all the liens are paid on the property, that excess money goes back to the previous homeowner. So we've actually had people who, and many times it's elderly people who pass away or go to a nursing home and their family doesn't keep up with the property taxes. But if there's any money left from the proceeds, that money goes back to the previous owner or to the estate of the previous owner. So I believe it's a winning proposal for the county. Again, there's no direct cost at all to the county. The bidders pay a small fee, and then the successful buyers pay a small 3% premium. But it actually makes it easier for me and my staff. We still have to do all the other steps, the advertising and the preparing for the sale and the notifications. But it helps us with bidder registration week. There's less traffic coming out of the courthouse. Sale day is much easier and less stressful for us and the bidders. They don't have to travel here and wait in lines to get the bidder number, and the courtroom don't have to type a courtroom. And then after the sale, we get our money within 5 days. And after the sale, any bidders who didn't buy get their refund back very quickly. That's done electronically instead of waiting for a paper check. Does any of you have any questions?
Well, first, I thank you for your doing all of your due diligence on this. My understanding is that this is considered a professional service.
Yes.
So it did not necessitate sealed bids, but for that matter, it'd be difficult to do sealed bids because they're not asking for us to spend money to hire them.
Right.
Would not cost us anything to hire them. But your understanding is there are 2 companies that offer this service, and you reached out to both of them and examined what their respective proposals are.
Correct.
And you reached the conclusion that the one that you're recommending today is better of the 2 from where you sit.
The biggest difference, the other company is called Bid for Assets. They charge a 5% buyer's premium. This company only charges a 3%. And the other company, they open up a 24-hour window where people can bid online. And pretty much you have to wait till the end of the sale because people wait to see who got bid on and what. This company bids off properties. We still have to advertise and notify people the day of the sale, the time of the sale. The bidders have that information in advance. But that day, it actually goes live auction on a website, on their website. And I'll be able to sit in the tax team office and monitor it as it happens. But they bid off properties one at a time. So I like the format better. And again, they only charge a 3% buyer's premium. The other company charges a 5% buyer's premium.
Your next sale is it free and clear or is it upset?
The next sale is the free and clear sale. Legally, it's known as the judicial sale. That'll be held on April 23rd of this year.
That answered my second question. And if we approve this today, does that give you and your staff and the company enough time to pull everything together that it could be applicable to the next sale in April?
Yes.
Okay. How would they go about, either you or they or both of you, how would you notify prospective bidders of this change?
What we do every year is we post the information at our tax lien window. We also put it on our tax claim bureau website, which is part of the county's website. And we've already been getting calls the last few weeks. When is the sale? When's registration week? And so as soon as this is approved, I would meet with this company and then lay out the logistics. And within a week, I would have our website updated. And at least 30 days prior to the sale, their website link would be live and bidders could simply go online again from their phone, from their tablet, or from their computer.
My final question, how would this affect, if you're able to answer this, a non-computer savvy person who would wish to bid? Do they have any options, or do they have to maybe get some assistance from a relative or a friend who is computer savvy? Has that been talked about?
We did think of that. There may be a few, older folks who may not have be as savvy, but what we would do in that case is if somebody really came to us and said, I want to participate, but I don't have computer access, we would help them register through our computer at the office. We would accommodate bidders as well. But as you know, everything pretty much today almost, they say 99% of adults in America today have a smartphone. So you don't even have to have a computer. You can actually register as a bidder and bid on a phone with an internet connection. So I don't believe that'll be a problem, but we would try to accommodate. The world has moved online.
Understood. I'm glad to hear that, because we don't want to freeze anybody out from having the opportunity to bid. So I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Mr. Kennedy.
I'm the oldest one up here, and look what I use. Instead of paper. So I don't go along with that anymore. Their grandkids can teach them how to run a computer. I think, Brian, when I went to, before you were here, I went over across the street, sat up in the balcony, and I was for about 2 hours. And this stupid brain of mine looks at it and said, boy, this is such a waste of time. And then I went to your sale, and you were, I couldn't believe how well you guys did over here at 1-5 with the amount of room we had. But it worked fine. But then I come down, and I'm probably here till 4 o'clock that day, and I walk out, and there's a line clear out the door here. I'm waiting to pay. And to me, that was just a waste of time, waste of your time. So when you came to this, I had talked to somebody at the CCAP conference about this. I thought, this will be the future for us down the road. Didn't think it'd be this year, but I'm sure glad you took it upon yourself to get this done. I'm waiting for May to hit here so we can turn around and look and say how easy this was and how well it went. I got all the faith in the world of you and your team up there. I'm sure they'll come through and they'll be happy and they'll go home at 5 o'clock at the latest, hopefully. You won't have to buy pizza this time.
Right. Again, this has been done successfully. At least 10 other counties have done their sales online. There's now 12 counties under contract. Beaver County, they just signed the contract 2 weeks ago. They're going to start their sales this year. The good news is this is only a 1-year agreement. At the end of the year, if for any reason we want to go back and do the in-person, we have that option. But everything goes well with our 2 sales this year, then we can always renew this contract in the future. But York County started this in 23. They did both their sales in 23, 24, and 25. And the director told me at our last tax day conference, she would never go back.
Anything else?
No, I'm just hoping you say the same thing down the road.
Because it's been done elsewhere in Pennsylvania and done successfully, I believe that we should give it a try.
Exactly.
And again, at no cost to the county taxpayers.
I liked, we had a casual conversation about this, and I liked your guinea pig line. You didn't want to be the first.
Yeah.
And we're not the first.
We're not the first.
I appreciate that you pointed that out. Christopher, give me 1 second, please. In your conversations with your staff, and possibly even with solicitor in the door, I don't know, did you ask either of those folks, either your staff or the solicitor or both, what their thoughts were? Did you give them the chance to offer their opinion on this?
Yes. My staff is all for it. Again, it eliminates several 12-hour days for us. Several of my staff are part of the collective bargaining agreement. Those days we were required, if they work more than 8 hours, we're required to pay them overtime or comp time. That's going to eliminate that additional expense. You've all seen the lines at my window around sale time. This is going to cut down on the number of people who have to come through security checkpoint, have to wait in long lines. So my staff is all for it. The solicitor reviewed the contract, has no problem. He said the only caveat, and that this is the way of the world, we're making it easier for out-of-town people to bid on property. But for example, we have a regular who bids every year. He's from Philadelphia. He drove in last week just to get information. He wants to register. He's planning to come back, but he's not going to have to make the trip back to register and for the day of the sale. He's going to pay a $35 registration fee, but he's going to save hundreds of dollars in gas and tolls and time in traveling here. So I think overall, I think the benefits that I listed here are far outweigh any downside. Will there be a few local people who like to come and bid every year to see what property is for sale and don't want to pay a small registration fee? Maybe, but again, to me, the convenience of not having to make 2 trips to the courthouse is worth paying a small bidder registration fee.
And we might get more people here locally to bid on it too, because it's easier for them.
Right, because technically right now you'd have to either leave work or take a day off or only retired people. So this will actually open up the bidder pool. And again, in every county that's done this, the number of people who register as potential bidders goes up, which makes the sale more successful.
Thank you. Commissioner Sanada.
Brian, do you know what the percentages of people from out of town who bid?
Oh, I should have brought that down. Last year, 2/3 of the people were out of the county, and we had people from 7 other states. We had people from New Jersey, Delaware, Virginia, New York, Connecticut, Florida. So it was definitely over half of the people who bid at our auction last year were not Lawrence County residents to begin with.
And that's just not the Orange County.
No, that's-
We're bidding all over the state.
Right, within our Tax Claim Bureau Association, we share the bidder list because we make sure if somebody is what we call a bad actor, for example, if somebody comes to a sale and bids on property and then never pays for the property, they're banned from bidding at future sales for 2 years. So we do share that, and in every county in the state, the majority of bidders are from outside of that county.
I just, I think that I put due diligence in this. It makes sense. I mean, this is the future. And we looked at every aspect of it. And when it comes down to it, this is actually going to save the county money.
Yes, I believe it will.
You made your points on not paying overtime, less, other options. But I like the idea, though. I mean, for the $35 fee, most, if not 80 or 90% of them will actually be saving money for the residents just because, one, they don't have to miss a day of work potentially, and with gas and all the other stuff. It makes sense. You look at it on paper, and I think that, like you said, 98% plus to do it in the phone. This is my phone. I do most of my stuff on here now. I mean, you really don't need that computer. Okay, and I commend you and your staff. If we have a senior or someone who needs that assistance, we're going to provide it for them. Okay, so there's nobody's going to be able to say we can't get it if we wanted to. Okay, so I think we covered the bases here. It's a 1-year plan. That makes sense. We've done a lot, I think, the last 2 years up here with our technology moving forward. We've actually saved money for the county by doing these type of things. This is just one of many which has happened, and we have many more planned in the future, starting with lights, with everything that will actually save. So we appreciate your efforts and timeliness. This gives an idea of how valuable sometimes a conference can be. You come back with an idea, it's going to save money. And that's why we wanted you to go, and we're happy that you did. And I'm looking forward to this, and I'm happy to see Beaver County on this as well. Tony and Jack, guys down there, they do their due diligence as well.
They approved the same contract on January 22nd.
Yeah, I feel even more comfortable. I felt comfortable before, but knowing they do a lot of research just like we do up here. So I feel very comfortable about that. So it looks good. Let's hope it's going to go just as smooth as planned. And, it's going to, I think at the end of the day, 90+% will be happy with doing it this way. Just saving them, because you know what, even I at times, you can be on this computer sitting in your office as compared to actually sitting in that courtroom reading and going through that. So, all right, Brian, well, I appreciate everything you did on this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanada. This is proposed resolution 12. Let me enter into the record the sentence that basically summarizes what it is we're doing. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, the authorization is granted to enter into and execute the attached agreement between the County of Lawrence and GovEase Auction LLC, providing an online auction website that will give third-party users the ability to register and bid at the Lawrence County Tax Claim Bureau judicial and upset tax sales held every year. The agreement commences February 3, 2026 through February 3, 2027 with automatic 1-year renewal terms at no cost to the county. This is proposed resolution 12. If you gentlemen are ready, I could take a motion for it.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you both. Any final concerns or comments? Brian, anything else?
Just reminder, which you already know, but for the record, Chris mentioned, last year, the county moved, remember when the controller used to have to come in for all the bids and open paper bids, that whole process has been moved online and it's working well from my understanding. So again, this is the way of the world today. eBay is a big company because people, instead of running to 10 stores, you go on eBay and find any product and bid, what you're willing to pay for it. So online auctions have been happening auctions have been happening on the internet for many years. Successful. This company's been doing it for over 10 years. They've been doing it this is the 4th year in Pennsylvania. So I think this is a worthwhile. It's going to benefit the county and benefit overall the bidders. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, and thank you for all the work you put into this. I believe I need a motion, do I not? We have the motion and the second, thank you, I'm sorry. We'll take a roll call then, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Brian, thank you much.
Thank you all very much.
And as we say to everybody else, you're welcome to stay, but if you have to head upstairs, we certainly understand. Next on the agenda, we have one administrative transfer request from Children and Youth Services.
Tax sales.
It is for a $12,000 transfer coming from contracted provider care line item into the caseworker visitation grant line item. Any concerns, gentlemen? May I have a motion for the request?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
If there are no other questions, we'll take a roll call.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Takes care of our voting matters. We'll move on to some announcements. This Board of Commissioners will reconvene a week from today, Tuesday, February 10 at 10 a.m. in this room, open to the public. Following that meeting on February 10, the quarterly meeting of the Retirement Board will take place. That will include the 3 commissioners, the controller, and the treasurer. That meeting is also open to the public. And then 1 week from tomorrow, this isn't on the printed agenda, but 1 week from tomorrow, the Lawrence County Planning Commission will hold their monthly public meeting on Wednesday, February 11th at 12 noon. They will be meeting at the Slippery Rock Township Municipal Building out on US Route 422. Like Vanessa had to step out for a second. So while we're waiting, closing comments from my fellow commissioners, Mr. Sonata.
I'll just emphasize what you said, Chairman, and Brian said, I think it was Dave was here last week when he modernized the way of doing things with Amazon. And that was a savings to the county that you have this week with Brian Burek with the tax claim office coming up with potentially other ways that we're saving. So I mean, this is really like 2 weeks in a row. We really got into the technology. So I'm just pleased to see that. It's good when we have people at the courthouse who think of these ideas that help us. Because us 3, we can do so much, but when we get the controller doing this thing and some of our department heads doing what they do, we appreciate it. So that's my finish up with.
Thank you. I goofed up here a little bit. I jumped ahead to closing commissioner comments, and I'm going to go to Mr. Kennedy next. And immediately after that, I'll open it up for public comment. I didn't want to forget our last public comment opportunity. But your final comments, Mr. Kennedy.
I have really none. It's been a good meeting. I think we got a lot done. Glad for Mr. Richardson to be here in Lawrence County. He's been a friend for years. Has got many businesses up in Mercer County. He's down here now, and hopefully someday we can get rid of the rest of that. There you go. John's a good guy. He's been a friend of my family's for years. He's built some pretty successful businesses right over the Mercer County line. So John's done a good job.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Now I will open the floor for public comment. Debbie?
Nothing for public.
I do have your packet. We're finished. Mr. Abramovic, anything?
How much time do we have?
We usually say 5 minutes.
I've spent a lot of time with you 3 the past month. I'm okay.
By the way, this is a somewhat longer than average meeting. We're usually done in 40, 45 minutes, but we had a number of folks visiting, so this one went a little longer than usual.
Chris talks too much. That's the problem.
I'm going to stick around and get one coffee before I gotta go.
I got to blame Chris on something once in a while.
Did you say you want coffee?
I'm gonna steal coffee.
You know,
before I go.
we're just directed to,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
I think he already knows.
Okay, but no, thanks for taking the time to join us, and we just wish you nothing but the best, Chip. And we're here to, I know you're gonna work most closely with this gentleman, because he's on your board.
Bad idea.
No, he works so hard at what he does. We all do, but he has really focused on economic issues, but we're all here for you.
I appreciate it. I am truly excited. It's been a great day in 3 hours.
That's great.
You know, the thing is, from day one, when you said you were gonna do this, from me beating somebody else up at CCAP conference who took the job and then said, no, he didn't want it. It's a blessing that we found you, and from day one. I think I called you right after you got the job and said, hey, can you go to Pittsburgh for me? And you jumped at it and went. And you've been a lot of other places here in Orange County in the meantime. So we thank you for stepping up to the plate.
We're gonna have a fun time.
It'll be, we'll get different ideas what we should do in Orange County. But, just from listening to your friends up in Venango County, they all spoke very highly of you and said that he's your guy, but we're gonna miss him.
Well, nice thing is, it's only 40 minutes away. You're not far.
Not bad at all, until I can now bid online and get a new house.
I got a $500 house for you. You'll like it.
Trust me, I've kicked doors in and know my nose.
Have you met Mr. Vanasco, our county administrator? And our deputy chief clerk is Vanessa Bayless. So you can put names with faces. Speaking of Vanessa, Joe, anything we've overlooked?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, that being said, thank you for your patience today, and I'll request an adjournment motion. We adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.